Nobody expected this. But the moment T.I. walked into that detention facility, everything changed. Newly leaked footage is exploding across the internet right now, and what it shows is not just a father visiting his son, it's a confrontation so intense, so emotional, that people are saying this might be the breaking point for King Harris. We're talking about raised voices, visible frustration, and a look on T.I.'s face that fans have never seen before. But here's where it gets even crazier. Insiders are claiming that what was said behind those walls was far worse than what made it into the viral clips. And if those reports are true, this isn't just a family moment, this could be the beginning of a complete fallout. Because while King was laughing online in a Pikachu onesie, his father was allegedly delivering a warning that shook everyone in that room. And now people are asking one question. Did this moment just save King Harris, or push him even further over the edge? Because what happened next, nobody was ready for. To understand why this footage hit the internet like a shockwave, you have to look beyond the viral clip and step into the history of this family. Because what you're seeing right now didn't just happen overnight, it's been building for years. T.I. isn't just any father. He's a hip-hop legend, a man who built an empire from nothing, someone who turned pain, street life, and hard lessons into success. But behind the fame, behind the music, there's always been one thing he's been brutally honest about: his past. He's lived it. The arrests, the prison time, the consequences. And because of that, he spent years trying to make sure his children never walk that same path. But then there's King Harris. From the outside, King had everything: fame, money, connections, and a platform most people could only dream of. He grew up in front of cameras, surrounded by luxury, protected by a family name that carries serious weight in the industry. But that same spotlight also became pressure. Because while the world saw privilege, King kept showing something else: rebellion. And it didn't start with this arrest. This latest situation? It's just the tipping point. Go back to 2022, King's first major run-in with the law. What should have been a simple traffic stop turned into a bigger situation involving multiple charges. And instead of stepping back, instead of learning from it, King did something that instantly set the tone for his public image. He laughed it off. He went online, joked about it, treated it like content instead of a warning. That moment right there, that's when people started paying attention. Then came 2024. Another incident. Another arrest. This time involving even more serious circumstances. Reports of reckless driving, the smell of marijuana, and once again, law enforcement stepping in. But here's the twist. This time, he actually cooperated. For a brief moment, it looked like maybe things were changing. Charges eventually got dropped in 2025. Clean slate. Second chance. And for a second, it really felt like King was about to turn things around. He became a father. Yeah, that part doesn't get talked about enough. While all this chaos was happening publicly, behind the scenes, King welcomed a son into the world. A moment that should have changed everything. Responsibility. Legacy. A reason to move differently. And for a while, fans believed that this was the turning point. But then April 2026 happened. Late night. Around 1 a.m. A traffic stop in Georgia. At first, nothing unusual. Speeding. Happens all the time. But within minutes, everything spiraled. Police approach the vehicle and immediately spot a firearm within reach. Now the energy changes. This isn't just a traffic stop anymore. Officers order King to step out of the vehicle. And that's when the situation takes a sharp turn. He refuses. Not once. Not twice. Multiple times. Tension builds. Officers escalate. And just like that, what could have been a warning turns into an arrest. But here's the moment that sent the internet into absolute chaos. King Harris was wearing a full Pikachu onesie, a bright yellow cartoon costume, during a felony arrest. And instead of panic, instead of fear, he starts posting Instagram stories, selfies, jokes, comparing police to Team Rocket, laughing, smiling, turning the entire situation into entertainment. Within hours, the footage spreads everywhere. Blogs, news outlets, social media. Everyone's watching. Everyone's reacting. Some people found it funny. Others, not at all. Because while King was joking, the charges were very real. Felony possession, obstruction, traffic violations. This wasn't a game anymore. And that's when the story took a deeper turn. Because while the internet was laughing, someone else was on the way to that detention center. Not as a celebrity, not as a rapper, but as a father who has seen this exact road before, and knew exactly where it could end. When T.I. showed up that night, everything changed. Because according to people who were there, what happened inside that facility was far more intense than anyone expected. And the footage we're seeing now? That might only be a small piece of what really went down. The moment T.I. stepped inside that detention facility, the energy shifted instantly. No cameras were supposed to capture what happened next, but somehow, clips started leaking, short, shaky, incomplete, just enough to spark absolute chaos online. And what those clips show? It's not just a visit. It's a confrontation. According to multiple insider accounts now circulating across social media, T.I. didn't walk in calm. He walked in controlled anger. The kind of silence that's louder than shouting. The kind of presence that makes everyone in the room stop talking. King Harris was sitting there, still in the aftermath of his arrest, still carrying that same energy he showed online. Relaxed. Unbothered. Almost like it was just another viral moment. But the second he saw his father, that energy reportedly changed. Witnesses claim there was a long pause. No words at first, just eye contact. And then it started. T.I. allegedly stepped closer and said something that didn't make it into the viral clips. Something so direct that people nearby immediately turned their heads. "You think this is funny?" That's what one source claims he said. And from there, everything escalated. Voices started rising. Not screaming, but intense, sharp, controlled frustration. Because this wasn't just about one arrest. This was about a pattern. Years of warnings. Years of close calls. And now, a felony charge. According to a leaked breakdown of the full exchange, T.I. allegedly reminded King of everything he had already been through himself. The prison time, the mistakes, the consequences that don't go away. "You don't understand what you're playing with," another insider claims he said. And here's where things take a turn no one expected. Because instead of backing down, instead of apologizing, King Harris reportedly pushed back. Yeah, right there, in that room. Sources claim King responded with a tone that shocked even the officers nearby. Not aggressive, but defiant. Almost like he still didn't see the situation the way everyone else did. He said he's living his life, one viral post claims. That one line, it spread like wildfire. Because now this wasn't just a father trying to correct his son. This was two completely different mindsets colliding in real time. On one side, a man who has lived the consequences. On the other, a young man who feels untouchable. And the tension between those two realities. That's what people are reacting to. But then, came the moment that changed everything. According to a now-deleted thread that gained millions of views before being taken down, someone inside the facility claims that T.I. didn't just confront King. He warned him. Not publicly. Not for the cameras. Privately. A statement so serious that it reportedly left the room completely silent. "If you don't change, I can't save you this time." That's the line people are quoting. Now, is it confirmed? No. But the fact that this exact quote is being repeated across multiple viral posts? That's what's fueling the fire. Because suddenly, this isn't just drama anymore. This feels real. This feels final. And it gets even more intense. Because right after that alleged moment, the tone of the interaction reportedly shifted again. Sources claim King went quiet. No jokes. No smirking. No phone. Just silence. And that silence, people are saying that's the most telling part of the entire situation. Because for the first time, the reality might have actually hit him. But before anyone could fully process what happened inside that room, another twist dropped. Because the footage that went viral, it's not the full video. Not even close. In fact, multiple insiders are now claiming that there's a second clip, a longer version, that shows what happened after that confrontation. And according to those same sources, that unseen footage might be even more shocking than what we've already seen. Because if what they're hinting at is true, then this wasn't just a warning. It was the beginning of something much bigger, and possibly much worse. Just when people thought the situation couldn't get any more intense, the story exploded to another level. Because within hours of that confrontation footage going viral, a second wave of leaks started hitting the internet. And this time, it wasn't just short clips. It was full-blown breakdowns, alleged transcripts, and insider messages claiming that what we saw was only the beginning. And suddenly, everyone was asking the same question. What really happened after that moment between T.I. and King Harris? According to a viral thread that racked up millions of views in just hours, the situation inside the detention facility didn't calm down. It got worse. The post claimed that after that intense exchange, T.I. was briefly pulled aside by officers. Now, at first, that might not sound like a big deal. But here's where it gets interesting. Because the same thread claims that during that conversation, officers allegedly revealed details about King's behavior before his father arrived. Details that were not in the official reports. And if those claims are even partially true, then the situation is far more serious than anyone realized. We're talking about alleged resistance, attitude issues, and moments where officers felt the situation could have escalated further. Again, none of this is officially confirmed. But that didn't stop the internet from running with it. Because right after that thread dropped, another leak surfaced. This time, it wasn't text. It was audio. A short, distorted clip, barely 20 seconds long, allegedly recorded inside the facility. You can't see anything, but you can hear voices. One voice that people claim is T.I.'s. Low. Controlled. Frustrated. And another voice, believed to be King, quieter than before. Less confident. More defensive. The audio is unclear. Messy. Hard to verify. But that didn't matter. Because the moment it hit social media, it went viral instantly. People started analyzing every second. Slowing it down. Enhancing it. Trying to piece together what was being said. Some claim they heard T.I. say, "This ain't a game anymore." Others swear they heard King respond with something about pressure and being watched. Now whether that's real or just people hearing what they want to hear, it didn't matter. Because the narrative had already shifted. This wasn't funny anymore. This wasn't just about a Pikachu onesie or viral memes. This was starting to feel like a young man hitting a breaking point, and a father realizing he might be losing control of the situation. But then came the moment that truly sent everything into overdrive. A so-called insider, claiming to be connected to the facility, dropped a message that changed the entire tone of the conversation. The message read, "You didn't see the part where T.I. walked away and didn't look back." That one line, it shook the internet. Because now people weren't just focused on the confrontation. They were focused on the end of it. If that claim is true, that means after everything was said, after all the warnings, after all the tension, T.I. allegedly left his son sitting there, without another word. No hug, no reassurance, just silence. And for a lot of people watching, that moment felt heavier than anything else. Because it didn't look like anger anymore. It looked like disappointment. The kind that cuts deeper than any argument. The kind that lingers. And now, the internet is divided. Some people are saying this was the exact wake-up call King needed. Others are saying it might push him even further in the wrong direction. But here's where things take another unexpected turn. Because just as this narrative started to settle, King Harris himself broke the silence. Not with an apology, not with an explanation, but with a post. A cryptic one. No caption. Just a black screen, and a single sentence. "They don't understand me." That's it. No context. No clarification. Just that one line. And instantly, everything spiraled again. Because now people are asking, who is they? His family? The public? His father? Or everyone? And if that wasn't enough, sources are now claiming that more footage could be on the way. Longer clips. Clearer audio. Moments that haven't been seen yet. Moments that could completely change how this entire situation is viewed. So now the question isn't just what happened. It's what haven't we seen yet? Because if these leaks keep coming, this story is far from over. The moment that cryptic post went live, the internet didn't just react, it erupted. Within minutes, timelines were flooded. Hashtags started trending. Clips, theories, breakdowns, everywhere you looked, people were arguing, debating, picking sides. And just like that, this wasn't just a family situation anymore. This became a full-blown cultural moment. Fans immediately split into two camps. On one side, you had people defending King Harris, saying he's young, under pressure, living in a spotlight most people could never handle. They argued that everything he does is magnified, criticized, and turned into headlines. He's 21, not perfect, one viral post read. Y'all acting like you never made mistakes, his just happen in public. But on the other side, the criticism was brutal. People weren't laughing anymore. They were calling it reckless, dangerous, embarrassing. You got a kid, a platform, and a second chance, and you still doing this? Another post read. And that's when the conversation got deeper. Because suddenly, this wasn't just about one arrest. It was about accountability. It was about legacy. And more importantly, it was about whether this situation had gone too far to fix. Then the celebrities started reacting. Not directly naming names, but throwing shots that were impossible to ignore. One rapper tweeted, "Some people only learn when it's too late." Another posted, "Money can't protect you from bad decisions." Even industry insiders, bloggers, podcasters, radio personalities started weighing in. And almost all of them pointed to the same thing: the footage of T.I. Because no matter what side people were on, everyone felt that moment, that look on his face, that energy, that shift from anger to something deeper. And suddenly, the narrative flipped again. Now people weren't just talking about King. They were talking about T.I. as a father. Some praised him, said he handled it the right way, said he showed up, stood firm, didn't sugarcoat anything. "That's a real father right there," one viral comment read. But others, they questioned everything. Why is this still happening? Where was this energy before? Is it too late now? And that's when things got even more intense. Because an old clip resurfaced. A clip of T.I. from months ago, warning about this exact situation. In the video, he talks about fear. Not fear for himself, but fear for his son. Fear that the same mistakes he made could repeat. That clip, it went viral again. Millions of views. And suddenly, everything felt connected. Like this wasn't random. Like this was inevitable. But just when it seemed like the conversation couldn't get more divided, another layer dropped. Because some fans started pointing out something that hadn't been discussed enough. The pressure. Growing up in a famous family. Being constantly compared. Always being watched. Always being judged. And for the first time, some people started shifting their perspective. Not defending the actions, but questioning the environment. What happens when you grow up in the spotlight but don't know who you are outside of it? That question, it hit hard. Because now the conversation wasn't just about right or wrong. It was about identity. But even with all these debates, one thing remained clear. The situation is far from over. Because behind the scenes, rumors are starting to build about what happens next. Court dates, possible consequences, and even more footage that hasn't been released yet. And if those rumors are true, then everything we've seen so far might just be the beginning of something much bigger. Something that could change everything. And trust me, what's coming next, no one is ready for. Just when it felt like the situation had reached its peak, everything flipped again. Because late last night, a new rumor started circulating, and this one hit differently. Not a clip. Not a tweet. Not a fan theory. A direct claim from someone allegedly close to the situation. And what they're saying, it changes everything. According to this insider, the moment T.I. walked out of that detention facility, the story didn't end there. It escalated. The claim is that shortly after leaving, T.I. had a private conversation with someone from King's inner circle, and that conversation was not calm. In fact, it was described as urgent, frustrated, and final. And here's the part that has everyone talking. The insider claims T.I. allegedly made a decision in that moment. A decision that could completely change King Harris's future. Now, nobody has confirmed exactly what that decision is. But the speculation, it's wild. Some are saying he's planning to completely step back, letting King face the full consequences on his own. Others believe he's preparing to take extreme action behind the scenes, cutting off certain influences, isolating him from people who may be fueling the chaos. But then, a second claim dropped. And this one, even more shocking. Because according to another source, there's tension not just between father and son, but inside the family itself. Yeah, you heard that right. Rumors are now suggesting that not everyone agrees with how this situation is being handled. Some allegedly believe King needs strict discipline. Others think pushing too hard could make things worse. And if that's true, then this isn't just a personal crisis anymore. This is a family divide. But wait, it doesn't stop there. Because just hours after those rumors started spreading, King Harris made another move. Another post. And this one, way more intense than the last. No images. No jokes. No emojis. Just a single line. Everybody switched when I needed them most. That's it. And instantly, the internet went into meltdown. Because now the narrative has shifted again. Is he talking about his friends, his family, his father, or all of them? And if he feels isolated, misunderstood, pushed into a corner, what happens next? That's the question nobody can answer. Because history has shown, this is the moment where things either change or spiral even further out of control. And with more footage rumored to be dropping, with legal pressure building, with emotions running higher than ever, this situation feels like it's on the edge of something big, something unpredictable, something that could either be a turning point or a breaking point. And the scariest part, we might be watching it unfold in real time. Because if even half of these leaks are true, then the next update on this story could change everything you thought you knew. Now I need you to really think about this. After everything you just saw, after all the footage, the leaks, the reactions, and those cryptic posts from King Harris, what do you think is really going on? Is this a wake-up call that could finally change his life? Or are we watching the beginning of something even more serious? And what about T.I.? Did he handle this the right way? Or do you think there's something deeper happening behind the scenes that we still haven't seen? I want you to go down to the comments right now and be honest. No filters. No holding back. Because this situation has people completely divided, and your opinion matters more than you think. Also, if you made it this far, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, because trust me, this story is far from over. There are still unanswered questions, more footage rumored to drop, and updates that could flip everything overnight. And when that happens, you already know we're going to break it down first. So stay locked in, because the next part of this story, it might be the most shocking one yet.